Welcome to the Wisdom Inspired Talk podcast. Thank you for joining me today. I am Yomi Akipelu, your wisdom coach, speaker, teacher, and author of Blow the Cap Off Your Capability and other books. In this podcast, we will learn from the wisdom of wise men and women from ancient and contemporary times. We will glean wisdom from books, biographies, teachings, quotes, and sayings of sages through the ages. So, let's dive right in. Today, we'll be speaking about solitude and silence. Let's start with a quote. God hides things by putting them near us, says Ralph Waldo Emerson. The best thinking is done in solitude. The worst is done in turmoil. Tranquility is the new luxury of our society. To be effective in all areas of our lives, we must carve out some time and space to be alone and quiet, so we can be more attentive to what is happening within us and around us. We need to calm our busy thoughts and experience stillness if we're going to grow as individuals. The need to practice silence and stillness is not an escapist route from reality or the rigors of life. Rather, it is a journey of discovery to a greater and more effective engagement with life. Some people speak out of experience. Some people out of experience do not speak. When we practice stillness and reflection in solitude, we begin to live a better life intentionally. We avoid repeating the frequency of previous mistakes. We live with a far deeper consciousness of God with us throughout our day. Jesus regularly withdrew into the solitude, silence, and stillness of the desert. And when he emerged, he was more effective in his ministry. So make a habit of practicing silence and stillness daily, even if it's just for a few minutes. Retreat into tranquility in order to be renewed, refreshed, and recharged. Be patient with yourself as you seek to do this. It seldom happens easily. Isaiah 26:3 says, God will keep in perfect peace those whose mind is stayed on him. Perfect peace makes me think of a beautiful, calm summer's day, sitting by a deserted lake with not a care in the world and no temptations, no problems, and no difficulties to cope with. Such bliss. Silence can never be misquoted. Silence is sometimes the best answer to certain questions. You can never regret saying something you did not say. Ignorance is always eager to speak. So the best time to hold your tongue is when you feel you must say something. You are unlikely to be hurt by something you did not say. Silence is the ultimate weapon of power. Sometimes you have to be quiet to be heard. Silence speaks when words can't. The mere fact that you know the answer does not mean that you should give the answer. I am always so impressed by the restraint in words shown by the truly wise. George Eliot said, "Blessed is the man who, having nothing to say, abstains from giving worthy evidence of the fact." The Bible has a lot to say about keeping quiet. For example, it says, even a fool is thought to be wise if he holds his tongue. Keep your mouth closed and you'll stay out of trouble, says Proverbs 21:23 in the Living Bible. The Bible also says, in the multitude of words, sin is not absent. Proverbs 10:19. Frank Tiger said, "Silence is a friend who will never betray you. Be a good listener. Your ears will never get you in trouble. Over-talking is one of the worst social ills. Quiet gives you bandwidth to hear the divine whispers of wisdom that are drowned out by the noise of false urgencies. John Maxwell said, reflection turns experience into insight. When you follow effective action with quiet reflection, from that reflection will come even more effective action. When repeated over time, this will lead to a cycle of effectiveness and success. According to John Maxwell, learning to pause allows growth to catch up with you. Reflection, that is pondering, thinking, contemplation, turns experience into insight. People say experience is the best teacher, but that's not so. It is evaluated experience that is the best teacher, not mere experience. Everyone needs a time and a place to pause and think. Stopping to reflect is one of the most valuable activities you can do to grow. It's more important and valuable than motivation and encouragement. Pausing with intention expands and enriches thinking. Pausing allows the lessons learned from experience to sink into our hearts and then bring about this discretion and clearer direction. An absence of reflective thinking is what makes people make the same mistakes over and over without making a change or becoming wiser as a result of that experience. 10 minutes of thought is worth more than an hour of talk. When you take time to pause and incubate, you get illumination. When you take time to stop and reflect, you learn more from your experiences. When you reflect, you are able to put things into perspective. You gain new appreciation for things you didn't notice before. Few people have a clear perspective in the heat of the moment. So we must always take time to pause and think things through before we act. If we don't habitually pause to reflect, we would be unable to deal with issues that keep tripping us up, and we will keep making the same mistakes over and over again. So when things take a nosedive in your life, be at peace. Don't do anything. Just think. Pause. Wait. And of course, fill your mind with prayer and positive thoughts. You will master your moods, and you will be able to make the difference between success and failure. Oh, how hard it is to resist the temptation to launch into action when you run into problems and disasters. Yet the first step to survival is to be still, to do nothing, to be calm and at peace. Corrie ten Boom once said that if the devil can't make you sin, he'll make you busy. This is because sin and busyness have the exact same effect. They cut off our connection to God and to other people, and even to our own soul. It is only in solitude that you can connect with your real self or innermost being and bring treasures from deep within you onto the surface. Jim Rohn said, at the end of every day, you should play back the tape of your performance. The results should applaud you or prod you on. Many of us are just too busy to live emotionally healthy and spiritually rich and vibrant lives. There is a healthy kind of busyness where your life is full with things that matter, not wasted on empty leisure or trivial pursuits. There's nothing wrong with having a lot to do. The problem arises when you have too much to do and have to rush through life and run roughshod over others. This undermines your sanity and tranquility and erodes your sense of shalom, which is wholeness, peace, and well-being. So listen to silence. It has much to say. And that is all for today. Until next time, keep on growing in wisdom and maturity. Blow the cap off your capability. Be unstoppable. Be awesome. I'm cheering you on.